Alrighty guys, we're back for Valiant Mercenaries, and this is a Bloomburrow standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a suggestion over in the Discord, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. We got a whole bunch of Valiant mice packed in, like Heartfire Hero. We're seeing a lot of this. I'm actually not going to take the time to go over it, but it is a beautiful one drop. We have all 4 Emberheart Challengers, same concept, not going to take the time to go over it, but a pretty powerful Valiant ability that helps us see more off the top. Seedglaive Mentor, 3 mana 3/2 with Vigilance and Haste, and that Valiant. So whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Cool stuff, man. So got Flowerfoot Swordmaster, 1 mana, 1/2, rocking that Offspring for 2, which really is not going to be unheard of. That is kind of a decent way to spend 3 mana, you know what I mean? Especially with this Valiant ability where whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, mice you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. That's pretty decent, man. We got 20 mice packed into the list. Not bad. Another mouse we actually have is 4 Cheeky House Mouse. 1 mana, 2/1. Having all these extra like 1-drop mice is actually going to really come in handy. We'll go over why in just a second, but it also has an adventure side. Squeak by. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater this turn. Just not half bad at all. So we have 4 Brimstone Roundup. We called it Valiant Mercenary for a reason. This is a 2 mana enchantment with plot for 2 and a red. So the plot is actually more expensive than the actual card, but I don't think it's going to be unheard of to try that every now and then because of how this card reads. So whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token with, you can tap it, target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So I wonder how wide we can actually go if we get a couple Brimstone Roundups on the board, right? So I also wonder if we're going to have a curve every now and then, especially against like control matches where they're playing things really slowly, where you go like turn 2 Roundup and then turn 3 plot a Roundup, and then turn 4 you play the plotted Roundup and then just one other card, and then you get a couple mercenaries. That seems pretty cool. I like that. We do have other ways to see more off the top in here. We have a couple Wrenn's Resolve, okay? We got 4 Lightning Helix as our choice spot removal, mainly because it hits most things in mono red quite effectively at 3 damage, but then it also gains you 3 life too, and surviving against those hyper-aggressive decks is very important, and since we're Boros, we might as well rock the Helix. We also have 4 Caretaker's Talent. We really are trying to rely a lot on the Brimstone Roundup, but it's not the only way to get tokens in here for the Caretaker's Talent, as our top end also generates some tokens for us. We have a couple Hellspur Posse Boss. This is a 4 mana, 2/4. Other outlaws you control have haste, okay. And then when this enters, you create 2 1/1 red mercenaries with the mercenary ability. We also have this Ertha Frontier Mentor, 4 mana, 2/4, rocking those Boros colors up there. When it enters, you create one of those 1/1 mercenaries. Then also, check this out, guys. Whenever you activate an ability that targets a creature or player, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy, so that obviously works well with those mercenaries. Interested to see how much this is going to do today. Over in the mana base, guys, we do have some fast mana with the Forge as a 2 of. We have all 4 Vantage, of course. We do have a Restless Bivouac packed in here as a 1 of, even though it's tapped land. I think it'll do the thing. A couple Cavern of Souls calling mice way more often than not. A couple Rockface Village to, of course, work well with those mice. And leaning just a little bit red because that's what the deck is leaning towards. So as far as the Caretaker's Talent goes too, guys, this is another way to keep our hand nice and stocked up. So just like the Wrenn's Resolve and stuff, but this is actual card draw. So for 3 mana enchantment class, right? Whenever 1 or more tokens you control enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. At level 2, you can spend 1 white mana. When it becomes level 2, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. So some interesting stuff here is actually like when you're creating tokens with like Flowerfoot Swordmaster's Offspring as well, that copy of Flowerfoot is a token that you could potentially copy with the Caretaker's Talent, which actually sounds really neat, right? Then also level 3 is a little bit more unheard of, but it does happen every now and then. For 3 and a white, creature tokens you control get +2/+2. But this is in here as a 4 of, so I felt like I should probably go over it. Over in the honorable mentions, cards I thought about. Case of the Uneaten Feast, I did consider. Skrelv, thought about it. Yotian Frontliner, thought about it. Felonious Rage, Monstrous Rage, all that good stuff, right? Rabid Gnaw almost made the cut. Thought about some Convoke cards like Stoke the Flames, and then Burning Sun's Fury could be really interesting, especially if you end up like targeting 2 of your Swordmasters with it. That sounds really good. Okay, guys, I do my dandies to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, what am I expecting from the deck list, guys? I think it's going to be pretty janky as far as Valiant goes, but also pretty fun too. Other words, I wouldn't be trying it out for a video. I think that Brimstone Roundup is a pretty janky card, but like also kind of sort of like a really fun build around. So we'll see what we can get done here. All right, opponent goes first. I don't think we can complain about this hand. Probably start with the... Oh, decisions, huh? Based on this hand right now, I'm going to go into the Flowerfoot Swordmaster and save the cheeky house mouse for the adventure side. For now, we'll have Lightning Helix open next turn. Carrot Cake. Oh boy. Every now and then we see Boros tokens, and it is pretty good, man. I think I'm going to keep the Lightning Helix open, see if we can pop a better token. Oh, they're just going to take the 1. Yeah, so we keep the Lightning Helix open. Do we go face? They go for the swing. I say we take the 1, right? I think Lightning Helix face is fine. Excess damage while we have the mana available. Heartfire Hero is not terrible, dude. I think it's just going to be Mentor for the turn, though, while we have... Yeah, while we have it. I could see some spot removal here, for sure. Right now, we're just seeing the mice things plus the Lightning Helix, so hopefully we actually get to see the mercenary side. They go Fabled Passage. I can imagine the Mentor's about to bite the dust. It's going to be their own Lightning Helix, back up to 17, and 1 getting through, so down to 16. 4th mana comes down, it's a Demolition Field. Not bad. Wrenn's Resolve is pretty good. We don't have the extra red source to give Heartfire Hero haste, but we could with the cheeky house mouse if that's what we wanted. We could attempt the Mentor. We could attempt the Wrenn's Resolve, find a second mana. I don't like how that taps, though. Let's yeah, hold up. Let's swing with the Swordmaster. I think it's going to be Heartfire Hero to establish it for next turn, and then keep the Lightning Helix open. Demolition Field. So we'll grab a red source, right? I believe we want the second red source. So Rockface Village could have been really good in this match. I'd say that Demolition Field definitely came in handy. Uh-oh, we might have to use that Lightning Helix right here, right now, if they go for that double block. Because the cheeky house mouse, that's sorcery speed, unfortunately. So we have no trick here outside of removing one of these. That way, I mean, we should definitely keep the Swordmaster around, right? That's fine. Extra life gain isn't great against the current deck we're up against. But that's okay. Yeah, this Boros tokens is very much a mid-range list. Sunfall number 1. Oh boy. Mana? Okay. It's unfortunately a red source though. So we can't go Mentor and then have the cheeky house mouse. But we still play it probably. And we still probably go for the Mentor anyways because it's hasty damage. And then we want to do that before the incubator can power up anyways. Okay, some tough decisions here, actually. Caretaker's Talent. Not great for anything we've seen outside of the Swordmaster. And we played Swordmaster as a 1-drop anyways, so... So, Incubator available. So if we go Wrenn's Resolve, see what we see off the top. Another white source is not bad. A second Mentor is pretty good. But buffing the first Mentor and then getting the mouse down is pretty good as well. Remember, that's sorcery speed too, so... Alright. We'll have Cheeky House Mouse main phase 2. See what happens here. They might just chump. It is going to be a chump. You guys think it's going to be like a Lightning Helix? I'm afraid to get this down, but we have to, right? We have to start getting more. Like, is it a good odd of Sunfall number 2? Oh, it's probably good odds of a Sunfall number 2, huh? Okay, I'm gonna hold the House Mouse. Oh no, it's Get Lost for the Mentor. I guess they were waiting for us to play something else, just in case. Ooh, here we go. Here's some ways to get those mercenary effects rolling. I'm gonna save that, though. We're not up against discard or anything. I think we're just gonna take the turn for the talent and get the Cheeky House Mouse down. And then activate the map token. Totally fine, right? Yeah, hopefully we can start establishing a little bit more here. Oh, Get Lost number 2 for the Caretaker's Talent. Hey, it's... Oh, more mana too. I'll just play that. And I guess we'll go for it. The map token. Yeah, more map tokens, I guess, is not terrible. More mana. Holy cow, dude. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We'll have 7. We will be able to play it. Oh, my Mentor. I don't know what I was thinking there, guys. Should we have valued getting that Mentor down so that way the Wrenn's Resolve? Oh, I don't know. Oh, temporary lockdown too. Dude, the opponent's really going. Okay, Rockface Village. That actually doesn't help us out with the Frontier Mentor, but it's still pretty good to get down. Demolition Field. We'll wait to play it next turn, because there's a possibility where we'll need the Rockface Village and get a mouse off the top, right? So we'll still play the Forge, though. We're in danger, dude. For real. And they have this Fountain Port, too, which I think they can start to establish a lot with that. Caretaker's Talent. Well, that is pretty good. That's really good. Let's get that down. And we can copy. We should do that, because we get to see more off the top. This is definitely worthwhile. No, destroy evil. Dude, this is brutal. This is brutal stuff, man. Okay, well, I guess we'll boost the Mentor. Try to, right? They're going to go for the Demolition Field. At least we're thinning the deck here, dude. I'll tell you what, man. Take action, I guess, since we have 3 white sources. I don't think it matters too much. We'll grab a red source. I don't know if that matters at this point in the game with how much mana we actually have. We're actually going to get a swing here. It's a tapped fish. It's not a tapped fish. Create a 1/1 blue fish creature token. Guys? Am I crazy? I thought that was a tapped fish. Ooh, seeing our top end is pretty good. Yeah, they're going to have chump blockers for days with that Fountain Port then. Man, I've played with Fountain Port a few times. I thought it was a tapped fishy. Alright, so we'll go 1 onto you. I guess swinging wide is a little better, isn't it? But no. It's a similar concept, only they get to trade there. So that we give them the option of trading or chumping the 4/4, right? And that's okay, I think. I think they would go for... I think they would go for the trade and take the 4. They do go for the chump, actually, and take the 3. So now I'm afraid of a board wipe then. Of course, at any point, another board wipe can come down. Luckily, that only hits our mercenaries. So we still have enough on the board. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. At some point, too, we have to consider the concede as well, but... Ooh, mana off the top. All right, with the opponent having chump blockers for days, luckily, they're still taking 1 damage from the Fountain Port, but the Carrot Cake gives them an additional chump blocker and life gain, too. Tough decision. I think this could go anywhere. Mana off the top means I do think it's still leaning towards the opponent, but not heavily. I think they're on the run. So what ended up happening there? Oh, they chumped and then sacrificed for card draw. That was pretty good, opponent. That was pretty good. I'll tell you what, all the enchantment removal for our Caretaker's talent really helped them out. More mana off the top. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, the Flood. How much mana do I have in here? I kind of forgot to go over it when we were going over the deck. I don't know how much we have packed in, but this is a lot. I know it's a late game and all, but... Oh, it's too late for the fishy. They're already in the blocking step. Oh, they're just going to go for the draw again. Okay, all right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little better. Anyways. Them seeing extra off the top with the Fountain Port. Sunfall. And now we have to consider the concede, right? Flowerfoot Swordmaster. Wow, that's actually not bad. Do we concede? Do we? I don't wanna. We're gonna go a couple more turns. I want to see more. Look, guys, like we have so much of our land out of the deck too. I'd say the second we see more mana off the top, then we can concede. But until then, I don't know. I don't know if there's a chance. Fountain Port, they just go for the draw. Yeah, that's really good for the opponent. Much better than chumping every turn. Brimstone Roundup. Well, I think we're gonna have a hard time playing multiples every turn, but we'll give it a shot, huh? Swinging is fine, I guess. With the 1/2, we don't want to trade into the fish. But I guess we don't know what's in hand either. They take the 1. All right, nice. Yeah, so we'll plot up the Roundup. I'll tell you what, though, early on, a couple of these Roundups probably could have helped us a lot and taken some of the pressure off of our other enchantments, like the talent. Archangel Elspeth, okay. Yeah, we're still at 25, so this is probably going to have to be a concede match, but the question is, when do we want to do that? Brimstone Roundup. Second spell. Going wide. Get that mercenary. It doesn't have haste, unfortunately, but... so they do have a double block if they want to take out the challenger that way. The Archangel Elspeth. Double block into the Swordmaster if they wanted to as well. I'm just gonna, like, awkwardly hold back for the turn, guys. Because they still have 3 cards in hand as well. I think they want to go for some card draw on the port. Looks like they might pop the treasure to do that. If we wait for the full swing, there's a chance where we can actually use our mercenary on a Swordmaster, buff our mice wide, and maybe find more off the top. Forge is pretty good for them. Forge number 2 is pretty good for them. Maybe we won't have to concede. Guys, this is a great time to mention. I'm afraid to block here. I'm afraid to block that, but I'll try it. I'm afraid to block any of these, actually. I guess I'll try it. We'll see what happens. Because we're already in danger anyways. Anyways, great time to mention, down in the description, we do have chapters, timestamps, whatever you want to call them. Temporary lockdown number 3. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay. Oh, there's the mana. All right. So let's play that. We will call advisor, because I very much need an advisor while playing Magic the Gathering sometimes. Good game, opponent. Good game. Okay. Anyways, we have chapters and timestamps down in the description at the bottom of the video as well. Always feel free, skip ahead through the longer matches, or matches where you're like, come on, Red, you probably should have conceded 10 minutes ago, right? So, yeah, always feel free to skip around the videos. Or maybe you don't want to see the matches and you just want to see the discussion at the end of the video. That's totally fine and dandy as well. In the discussion, I do my best to kind of recap what happened in a lot of the games and talk about potential substitutions for the cards every now and then, or we talk about maybe like put it on the do not craft list, right? If it's really janky, which we do play a lot of jank. All right, I like the hand, and I think it's a turn 1 Heartfire Hero if I've ever seen one. Opponent is here. Probably Challenger. We want to save that Swordmaster for 3 because I want that token for the Caretaker's talent. Against Azorius, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely call Mice or Mouse for this. Get the Challenger down, get that swing. Swordmaster. Before or after the talent? Swordmaster won't eat the counter. Prowess on this, though. A talent counter would be really bad for us, but it might not be too bad overall. If it actually lands and starts restocking our hand. Yeah, and it affects combat, so we want to do it before combat as well. If they counter this, we're getting 4 through on the ground. It lands, so we got to anticipate spot removal. Get lost for the Caretaker. No! What's up with all the enchantment removal, man? Temporary lockdown. Oh no. That's brutal stuff, man. That's really brutal. Wow. That was a couple turns for the opponent, huh? Let's get the Swordmaster down. We're not out of this yet. We're not. I'm just gonna keep the cheeky house mouse. This could be more board wipes next turn. Like, sure, spending mana, getting the house mouse down could be good to get a bunch of mice on the board. Then we don't have any way to trigger Valiant in hand unless we top deck it. And then we could also just be running into another board wipe too, so. Against these slower decks, though, I really do think that the Brimstone would have been pretty good. I really do think that. We could try for a bigger swing. Probably get the Heartfire Hero down either way, though. Probably keep... We'll start with the squeak by, see what happens. Buff our mice. Okay. We won't have Lightning Helix available, unfortunately, guys. So I wonder if we do end up just dropping our mice on the board. When it goes down to 8, we have to play around a board wipe. We have to. It's too bad we don't have the correct mana to keep the Lightning Helix open. Neither of our other mice have. Yeah, we have to. We have to play around that Sunfall for sure. Especially when they could have it, they could help find it off the impulse. That's tough, man. That's a tough decision, but I think it's the right one. A little bit of patience here. It would be really good patience if this Lightning Helix was available for the turn. Impulse. Found their 5th. They got 3 open. Caretaker's talent is not bad, but we won't have the white source available to copy the token for the turn. The Cavern of Souls really holding us up here, actually, guys. We're going to try it, though. Caretaker's Talent. That would be so good. We do have another mouse for the turn if we want, but we're going to start with the swing for 2. I really don't want to lose the 1/1 token to an Elspeth Smite, but it's still worth the risk, I think. And we're still going to play around the board wipe. Call me crazy. Yes, we are, especially since they have the 5th Union of the 3rd Path back up to 11. Dude, we're in trouble. Surveil. I keep the 5 open. We start with Caretaker's Talent, right? We're definitely going to need to talk about the Cavern of Souls at the end here, right? Because it is definitely holding us up right now. Mentor is terrific. Yeah, we should try it. We should. This is going to be a really great board wipe for the opponent, but luckily we kept some of our smaller mice back to try to help us reestablish something. Wow, big swings for us, guys. Mind Splice Apparatus comes down. Oh, Fountain Port. Wow, full tap. That's 7 mana total. And then 1 less for the apparatus. White Sun's Twilight. Bro. They gain 6 off of that too. Oh no. Alright, so we do find another white source, first of all. Caretaker's Talent. We have no way to generate tokens in hand right now. We're gonna play everything. We're gonna get the hero down. We're gonna get the second Caretaker's Talent down as well, because the second we see a token generator off the top, then the Caretaker's Talent will help us restock our hand. Impulse for 1 mana because Apparatus is making everything cheaper. Too cheaper at this point too, so. Go for the full swing, and what's the difference between 4 poison and 6 poison? 2 mice on the board, so no blocks. Alright, we could easily die next turn. Cheeky House Mouse is not a bad draw here, man. Alright. We'll go on to the Heartfire Hero. It is sorcery speed, so you gotta do it before combat. No, my Heartfire Hero. How could you, opponent? That fizzles out the Cheeky House Mouse, too. That's pretty brutal. Yeah, that's pretty brutal, man. So we died to the poison either way. So let's get that swing in and then have the Lightning Helix go through as well. And honestly, if it wasn't poison, I think we'd have a small chance here, right? I guess we'll hit the fish so that way they don't have the trade. Gotta keep an eye on this Fountain Port. We'll take care of that since, like, yeah, since we were gaining some life here on the Lightning Helix and everything, if it wasn't poison, yeah, good game, opponent. All right, guys. We can do this. We can totally do this. So far, I was right in my assessment. It definitely feels jankier than normal Valiant, but we're also not seeing our Brimstone, which is like the main build-around card. We got 4 of them in here. We got the 4 Caretaker's Talent, too, which... It was really nice to actually see that do a thing. Copy the Offspring. That was awesome. The Cavern held us up a little bit, but not too much that game. Potentially, even if we could have gone faster, I think the opponent was really going to get there. They had a lot of things on time, so. Brimstone Roundup in the opening. All right. I just got so excited. I'm keeping this. Yes. Yes, this is the one, guys. This is the one. Caretaker's Talent Roundup. So having all these 1 mana cards and whatnot is, of course, why, like, we have so many 1 mana creatures, and then, like, Cheeky House Mouse can act as 2 casts on 1 turn as well with the adventure and the actual mouse side of things. So, yeah. Wrenn's Resolve. There's just like so many ways to see more off the top to make sure we can cast 2 things. Oh, the opponent has not arrived yet. I am going to pause the video. Oh, okay, they're here. Oh, look at me being impatient, huh? Let's get that Heartfire Hero down. We play this as a 2-mana card, or do we wait? Depends on what we see. Lizard off the Cavern. Okay, 3rd mana. Okay. So we have a chance here to get a swing through, and I'm actually just not going to do it. We're going to take the turn for some setup. I guess we could have swung. No. Because they could have called our bluff, we would have lost the hero. If we actually had an actual trick in our hand, then we would have swung and done it that way. But we didn't, and I think they could have easily called our bluff. But we also probably could have cheesed 1 damage through too, so. Okay, a couple lizards coming down for the turn probably. Ooh, yep. It's a really good turn 2 for the opponent. We gotta start doing something. And doing something fast. So Caretaker's talent could be good. The question is, how much setup do I actually want to do here, right? And how long do we have for that setup as well? Let's not set up the talent. Let's start with the Wrenn's Resolve and see what we see off the top, which we should have waited to play the mana then. We actually are going to get punished. Crap. I should have waited to play the mana, but I didn't really know what I was doing yet, and I got too hasty with it. Okay. Go for that swing. We'll get the 3 through, but we're going to be in danger in no time. Like, that was just such a terrific turn 2 for lizards. Luckily, though, not incredibly punished, as Vantage is actually going to be tapped land anyway. So we'll get the untapped source on the mountain and get the Hellspur Posse boss down, which is probably pretty good. Oh, no. My Hellspur Posse boss. No, opponent, get out of my hand. My Caretaker's talent. I would have been upset either way. We're just going to take this damage, and we're in trouble, man. And it's probably because of how I played it out, but... Wow, Lightning Helix is a really good draw. That's a really good draw. We're at 9. This Gev is a huge problem. We can buff the hero with the mercenary, of course, right? If we take care of the warlock, they might block, and I think we'd prefer the block, right? So we might start with this. We might have to go Lightning Helix onto the Gev. This trade is good for us. That's the problem. That's the big issue here. It might be good for both of us. Let's see what happens. I think they take the 4. Because they don't know what else is in hand. Our Lightning Helix is hidden from them. Alright, they do take the 4. Next, we want to go Cheeky House Mouse. That's 1 spell. We want to cast our 2nd spell for the turn too. So this has Menace, but Gev is terrifying. We take 2, we go back up to 10. The Vine Lasher is pretty scary too. It's got to be the Gev, right? Just having all their lizards come in with extra counters. It's just too much, right? I think so. Back up to 10. A pretty good board state right now, dude. Worst case scenario would be like another Thought Stalker, making us lose our Posse boss because we really want to hit that. Another Gev comes down. Fireglass Mentor. Down to 8. They swing with the menacing creature. We could double block, or we could trade Cheeky House Mouse into the Gecko, which isn't that great, but it's 3 blockers back. We don't have 13 for the next turn. Down to 5. They offer the trade, and I think we have to accept the trade. All right, Restless Bivouac. Let's get that Hellspur Posse boss down. It's a good blocker, and we're getting a bunch of other little chump blockers that we could use. The main issue, of course, is I do think they're going to be able to get the excess damage that they need from just playing lizards and land. So I think they take the 5 here, and they take it quite successfully. But if we can survive next turn without losing too much here, we could power up Bivouac and potentially win that way. So it depends. Yeah, we wanted to keep as many chump blockers as possible. All right, down to 4. They got 1 card remaining in hand. It's a Laughing Jasper Flint. Down to 3. We are going to be forced to block somewhere. Now 2. Oh, they might find some burn. Oh, go for the throat. Wow, that's a card to hit off the Mentor, huh? They want to hit the Heartfire Hero, right? Just take the 4, and then we have like all weak things left. Yeah. That was a really good hit for the opponent. I wonder what we could find. Opponent down to 4. Mentor's pretty good, dude. That's not bad. We're going to be forcing some blocks somewhere here. And Mentor's haste isn't bad. We could buff it then. Forcing blocks, but then we're probably going to die. So the Mentor, right? At the beginning of your second main phase, if an opponent lost life this turn, you exile 2 cards at the top of your library. You choose 1. I'd say hitting that go for the throat was perfect for the opponent. I'd say that was really, really good. So we have the option to swing wide. They have 5 creatures here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 creatures here. They could full block, take 1, and then full swing next turn. So we save chump blockers again. Swing for 5, force a block. 3/3 blocks it well. But it would be a good trade for us, right? I don't really know. I think it's the opponents, though. I do think that much. Oh, the menacing one is actually huge for us because we would have had to double block that one. Laughing Jasper Flint. They see 4 off the top here. They find some goodies like Hellspur Posse boss, dude. That's perfect for them because it's a lizard. So it's going to come in with an extra counter, and we're going down to 1 here. They can also go for the Cheeky House Mouse buff side, too. Either way, it's going to be a full swing. The Mercenaries come in with extra counters as well. That was a beautiful hit off the Laughing Jasper from our deck list, guys. Good game, opponent. I think it really was as simple as seeing that spot removal on time. Let's see where our blocks are here. It would be Gev, right? And then a chump on the big ones, like that. And then chump here, and it's still going to be 3 getting through. Good game, opponent. Very good game. That was excellent. I'd say for both of us. Brimstone Roundup, I'm actually really shocked that we ended up running out of cards there. But there were actually a few reasons for that. Number 1, they actually had us discard a key card to keep our hand stocked. The Caretaker's Talent had a really rough time. Opponents were prioritizing this left and right with enchantment removal, their get losts, right? And then also even prioritizing it as the discard target out of our hand too. I think that says a lot. Although we don't have too much token generation packed in, and that was really obvious when I played those 3 games. So guys, unfortunately, we are late enough into the video where we have to call it there with 3 incredibly tough uphill battles. All 3 of them are losses. I think the loss streak would potentially continue as well. This is a very janky version of Valiant. Here's the deck list again, guys. Put it on the do not craft list first of all, right? First of all, put it on the do not craft list. Second of all, if for some odd reason you really, really want to craft it, it's not like that expensive. The Challenger's rare and the Challenger's used elsewhere as well. A lot of it's just mice anyways. The Caretaker's rare, but the Caretaker's talent is used elsewhere as well, right? So Hellspur Posse Boss doesn't see too much play anywhere, right? Outside of some of my lists. I played Hellspur Posse Boss in my Lizard list, for example, so... And then the mana base can be used elsewhere too. So look, like it's not that expensive, and at least the expensive things are played in other builds too. But it was really bad, and it really struggled in those 3 games. I probably could have played it out a little bit better too, but honestly, maybe not. Maybe I played it well. You guys let me know in the comments for sure. Brimstone Roundup was really tough to see today, even though it was the main build around. Also, one of the main ways to get tokens onto the board for the Caretaker's talent. The other way is Swordmaster, and then our entire top end with the Posse Boss and the Ertha Joe. So, only 2 Cavern of Souls, and the Cavern really held us up. I don't think we want to drop these, though. We're seeing a lot more counter spells recently. No more lies. Azor's Control seems to be popping up a lot recently, so I think we want the 2 Caverns. The double Rockface Village should be fine. I think giving haste to some of these mice that don't have haste is going to be very important, especially against those control lists that I just brought up. I think we can successfully go up a Wrenn's Resolve and drop a talent too, but I'm actually a little cautious to do that because, again, the opponents targeted this talent so much today. You know what we could consider, actually, for the mana base? Maybe that Fountain Port. Untapped fishies, huh? 23 mana total in here. It's going to be pretty steep to get those fishies, and paying a life is a little sketchy. Guys, let me know, did you like the Lightning Helix edition in here? We saw a lot of temporary lockdown. Maybe it should have just been Get Lost instead of the Lightning Helix, or like a mixture of both. That way Get Lost could still pop the temporary lockdown too. It kind of comes down to what you're seeing the most of, because as you guys can tell, prioritizing all 4 Lightning Helix meant that what I was seeing at the time of building this deck was just way too much aggro that was just completely running us over. So like like you have to have some amount of variety. So maybe dropping 1 Lightning Helix going up a Get Lost wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. There might be a rare occasion where you drop a Get Lost on one of your own things just to have a map token to pop for your Valiant. Let's go up that 1 Get Lost, huh? I definitely talked myself into that. And look, man, the deck list was definitely bad enough to warrant some changes here. So let's apparently have to type it all in because a lot of things have Get in it. Get Lost. Is that enough? Probably not. And some more token generation. I wouldn't mind more top end, honestly. I wouldn't mind more of these. Maybe we could, oh, Challenger's another way to see more off the top too. Going up more 1-drops could be pretty good. So Challenger, Resolve, and Caretaker's Talent are all ways to see more off the top. More 1-drops. If we drop a Caretaker's Talent and go up like the Yotian Frontliner that was over here in the honorable mentions, which by the way, apparently I kept this Burning Sun's Fury over here. Usually I get rid of all the honorable mentions before playing. So I'm still thinking maybe 3 talent is a little better. Maybe 4 was a little bit overdoing it. And maybe just more 1-drops. That way we have more ways to play multiple things on the same turn for the roundup, right? So going up, like dropping some of these, dropping a Helix going up a Get Lost, dropping a talent going up a Frontliner, going up these 1-ofs, it actually might help us a little bit. So it'll be a little bit better now, maybe. But it's still very janky. And we have a very close to even split between red and white here, which makes a lot of sense if you're looking at the mana base. But maybe like a Mirrex is what the card is called that we've played with a lot. Maybe a Mirrex could be okay for some token generation. And then drop a Rockface Village. 7-to-6 ratio between red and white. That looks good. Might help us mana fix a little bit too. All right, we ended up changing a lot with the build, but I'd say those 3 losses definitely warranted some changes. So guys, let me know in the comments, did you like the changes that I just applied to the list based on those games? I definitely like the changes. The Mirrex helping us mana fix at a good time is always good, but also helping us generate tokens for the talent to draw more off the top too. So I think that gives more reason to have the talent in here. So I'd say the deck list doesn't look as clean as it was at the beginning, but I think it might perform just a little bit better. But yeah, when I put it on Aether Hub, is putting it up as pure jank. Guys, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. And also, I forgot to bring this up in the middle, didn't I? Make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. And then also, if you liked the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. If you like the channel, consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I will see you in the next video.